And that has to do largely with the misunderstanding of what the nature underlying mechanism is for the disease. And as I said, it's a metabolic disease that's driven by two fuels, the sugar glucose and the amino acid glutamine. Wow, that seems simple. How come nobody's targeting these fuels to manage cancer? Because they think it's a genetic disease, not a metabolic disease. But they're told what to do by the AMA, American Medical Association. The standard of care is like written in granite, and their job is not to question the standard of care, but to follow the rules of the standard of care. I have shown in no uncertain terms that radiation of the brain is like the worst thing you can do to a brain cancer patient. Why? Because it frees up massive amounts of the two fuels that are absolutely necessary for the growth of those tumor cells and survival, the glucose and the glutamine. When you irradiate the brain, you free up massive amounts of glutamine, which fuel those cancer cells, make them resistant to chemotherapy and resistant to more radiation, and it's just like nuts. And no matter how many you want to reduce local inflammation as best you can, so that when you do the surgical debulking, you have more sharp edges around that tumor, and that when you do the debulking, you're going to get a lot more of the tumor than if you go after this tumor like a bull in a china shop, because you're going to create a mess, and that mess is going to elicit these tumor cells to invade and disseminate through the brain. So you really want to get as many tumor cells back into the central mass as possible, and you can do that by water-only fasting, extremely restricted ketogenic diets. You can get the inflammation in that to be less than it is. You make the mass less angry, less inflamed. Surgeon comes in, debulks. Already that patient will have an advantage to survive better, just because the surgeon was able to take more. How do I know that? Because we did the experiments here in the lab.